Well, how's it going, guys? Andrew here.
And Matt.
Welcome to a spoiler-heavy conversation on Spider-Man.
Far From Home.
No.
No Way Home.
There it is. It could work still. That's what's annoying about it.
It's a callback to
So, click off this video if you haven't seen it yet, but everybody's at least seen it twice, maybe 3 times.
Yeah, the movie, not this video.
Not this video. Maybe you have. I don't know. There's a lot of them out there already.
We appreciate you for coming back for the third time.
But yeah, I think we're going to be talking about, I guess, try to go in order of the spoilers. I mean, it's not a lot until the very end, but I guess we'll start it off with fucking Daredevil.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Dude,
fucking Matt Murdock showing up just like, yeah, what's up? I'm a lawyer. I'm just like, yeah,
dude,
you fucking are.
Dude, and the cherry on top when the brick comes through the window and he catches
like,
it. Bam! Oh.
Dude.
I was just like, oh, you guys better team up later.
He's just like, yeah, I'm a really good lawyer.
That was a good dude.
Fuck yeah, you are.
Charlie Cox, I'm so glad you are in the MCU officially now. That was awesome. Just like his entrance, it was like his walking stick, and I think there was definitely people in the theater that went like, and then instantly the next shot was just him leaning back in the chair, and everybody's like, wow.
I remember, yeah, there was a guy that when the stick hit down, there was a second, and then someone just yelled out, Matt Murdock, and then fucking, he had showed him sitting back, and the theater just fucking erupted. It was fun.
You were thrown in there. That was probably the first 15 minutes of the movie. It was really fast. I kind of thought he was gonna be an end credit scene, but where they placed him was perfect. It was they just hired a lawyer, and
now it's just what more are we gonna see of him?
Yeah, I hope it wasn't just to it wasn't a little yep, Daredevil's in the MCU. I hope they go somewhere with this.
Yeah.
And if it takes a while, my thing is I don't know if I want another season of the Daredevil show because it's not going to be anything like the Netflix one. What? What?
The pillow.
Oh. Shout out to Man and Area for that pillow. But I just don't know if I want the Disney, especially. I'm not gonna say anything about the Marvel shows. About the, it's just they're raw and bloody and messy, and the Marvel shows aren't that. So I don't know if I'd want that. But if he's just in the MCU movies and he gets to team up with Spider-Man in the next movie, cool.
That'd be tight.
Yeah, but that was probably the first big moment, and then. One by one, all the villains kind of showed up, and you kind of could picture together that Doc Ock and Green Goblin showed up at the same time, on the highway.
They also showed up pretty early too.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long movie.
Yeah.
First off, but second, you do you're just thrown into it. It's a nice little, the opening's very ominous and kind of dark. You have Mysterio's voiceover of who that. Spider-Man's, Peter Parker and all this. And then you're just kind of thrown into that very moment at the end of the second film. And then it's kind of a nice progression of weeks. And you realize that not everybody's going to hate Spider-Man, which makes sense. Because I guess how it was portrayed in the trailer almost is that everybody did want to kill Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But you do have the fans that support him, and then you have the people that hate him and stuff. And so you get to see a progression of them just adapting to the new lifestyle, but then once Peter realizes it's also affecting his friends' careers, he's okay, I can't do this anymore. And I totally get that. That's pretty that
was pretty noble of him too.
It's good. It's a good motivation to reach out to somebody. He's dude, we have to fix this. I ruined so many people's lives. I don't want that to happen. And then Doctor Strange is casting a spell, and he keeps changing it, and he changes 5 or 6 times, and then it just kind of explodes, and then he catches it, but not until what, 5? Yeah, 5 villains show up.
And the tree. Don't forget the fucking tree.
Oh yes, the tree villain. I will say it's a little disappointing that we didn't get to see the Lizard is. You can tell that the Lizard and Sandman are just there for the final battle. They are both just CGI characters.
Oh yeah, I definitely noticed that was weird with Sandman because like the lizard, I was just like whatever. I mean, he's a lizard. That makes sense. But with Sandman, I'm like I've definitely seen like the literal, like the physical actor before. So I'm like, it definitely took me out.
It was weird that and so like, because I'm trying to remember in Spider-Man 3, it's been a while since this.
Dude, I still think that even they just used shots from Spider-Man 3 for Sandman when he was just like in his like physical like form. You know what I'm saying?
Like, so like at the climax when he gets cured.
Yeah.
Like that, they just used footage from Spider-Man 3.
I think so.
You think so? Like, I will say he looked pretty like.
I think the time has come that, but like when you come back, you, me, and Connor finally watch Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, we watched the first two pretty. Kind of close.
Yeah.
We watched them within like 3 or 4 months of each other, but that was like at the start of this year.
Mania.
I know we got to watch Spider-Man 3. After like watching a few more of Raimi's films, I want to go back and see if I like that one more. But like I will say when he like, because I was wondering, I'm like, he's been a CGI character this whole time. Did they actually bring the actual actor back on? And then like when I saw his face, I'm like, you look like you haven't aged a day.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
I'm like, either it's really good makeup or your thought is that they brought, because like it's only about 2 shots of him.
Yeah.
So I feel like they easily could have like layered that movie into the head of the Statue of Liberty and it looks perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Because it's literally just like 2 shots of him as like, you know, his normal human self again.
Yeah.
He doesn't interact with anybody. You know what? You're onto something. I think
that's what I'm saying.
I think you're right. I think it's just they use like archival footage.
Weird.
So, and so like one thing I did not care for, I'm glad it did not last long, but I didn't like that Spider-Man like hooked up the phone for MJ and Ned to like see what he was doing.
That was just like, why is that?
I just thought it was stupid. I'm like, and then like he gets, you know, electrocuted because Electro's there.
Yeah.
And then the phone's fried, but then it's not because then he like calls Aunt May or something. And I'm like, what is this phone? What are we doing here? Like that scene just kind of.
It's a Samsung or one of the. Is that Samsung owned by Sony? It's a product placement.
Yeah, it's definitely a product placement. Also, I kind of thought it was a little lame that because I remember you get the shot of like the new suit when he's running through the the crowd of people. It's literally his suit turned inside out.
I was just like, oh, okay, cool, black suit, and then it got closer and it was literally just wires and stuff. I'm just like, no,
it was, and then it only lasted like that one scene. Because like the whole thing was like he's like, oh, only Aunt May can clean this, so I'm just gonna put it inside out. I'm like, okay, Marvel, you just want a new toy.
Like, cool.
So
I also have stains that my mom can only wash.
I was a little when it came to like the villains when they were in their own little box.
Yeah.
Like I didn't like that it was like they were setting up for like a video game objective where it's just like, all right, Peter Parker, go find this villain in this area of New York.
Weird.
But like they really didn't do it that much. It was only like the one scene that they really did it. So like I'm glad that like Sandman and Electro were in the same area together, you know, and stuff like that. And like only the other 3 were already caught. So like it worked out.
Yeah.
But like when they like introduced that idea, I'm like, oh god, is the next like 30 minutes just him going from place to place collecting the villains? I'm like, that's gonna be kind of boring.
Yeah.
But I will say the Electro scene was pretty like intense, I guess. Like just like the quietness of him like building and forming. Oh yeah, that bird for a few days has been trying to get that bug inside there. It's pretty funny. Yeah, I've been watching it. Really try to pick at him.
All right, sorry.
No, but you know the shot where Spider-Man's like down on the ground and Electro's like forming up pretty much. That was like intense.
Honestly, I really did like this Electro. I feel like also especially just because like he was like actually Jamie Foxx, not just some blue Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, I would say Jamie Foxx looked great.
Oh yeah, he did.
Because he looks like an ugly motherfucker with that blue.
Yeah. They had a few jokes about the day. Like, oh, look at that! You got the comb over, you got your braces off, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It was just like
that's what we said like in the last is that this like is very meta.
Yeah.
With its other movies, it's memes.
Holy shit! Yeah. I was annoyed a little bit at first when like Alfred Molina was just kept saying like the power of the sun in the palm of my hand. I'm like, okay, yeah, we get it. That was a great line, but like that only worked for that point. But then
yeah.
we get Willem Dafoe's I'm something of a scientist myself.
His line delivery, you could tell he was so happy to say it again after like knowing how like hilarious that is now.
Oh my god, dude, it's one of the greatest fucking Spider-Man memes ever.
We'll save the other one for later, but yeah, when Doc Ock like shows up and he's pretty much like he's like, and that's why I was talking about that, like it kind of like, for me, it like nicks at the original movies a little more, is that he's like, oh no, I had the power of the sun in my hand and then I was like gone. And I'm like, wait, so you literally got pulled out seconds before you died? And like, I'm like, is it that moment, or is it the moment in the apartment when the first thing and like his wife dies? But even that is such a critical and powerful moment. Like, no, he already has the tentacles on, so it has to be like the climax of the movie that he's referencing to. And so like, I don't like that the villains were pulled out of right before they died. I don't get it.
Yeah, it did seem like it's a very weird. Well,
because like I guess like in Peter's timeline, like the Tom Holland Peter, when he's making the spell, so we're like at that moment, I guess, in the other universes, like everybody's dying at that exact moment, and then they get ripped out of that. It's a little confusing. It's a little weird.
No, I don't think because
Green Goblin's dead.
Yes.
And like and Doc Ock's like, no, you died a few years ago.
Yeah,
it's confusing. I don't know, but then Jamie Foxx tells about him like dying, and then he's like, yeah, I was like losing all my energy, and then I just ended up here, and I'm like, I don't get this.
It's really not something I guess we should really try to dive into, because I guess there's really just no.
It's just like they're here.
I guess it's like what Doctor Strange said. He's like, we know very little about the multiverse.
Yeah, we don't know how it works.
As in like hey, don't ask fucking questions.
Yes. I don't want an edit of Spider-Man 2 now where like Doc Ock's holding the sun and then you just see him get sucked into a fucking...
Oh, it's going to happen.
Yes.
It's going to happen.
Yes. So yeah, all the villains are there, and like it still felt like a normal Spider-Man movie. Like nothing crazy was happening yet. And then like when then Doctor Strange and Spider-Man have this big argument about how we have to send them back because they're going to die. And Tom's like, no, like that's not who I am. Like, I don't want these people to die. Like, that's not fair. Let's give them a second chance. Let's try to cure them in our world. And Doctor Strange is like, nah, bitch. And then
send them back.
That's when they have their whole, what was Doctor Strange called? Like the Mirror Realm or something?
Yes.
Yeah. And that was a cool fight. And it definitely made me want to watch Doctor Strange again.
I always liked the Doctor Strange moments.
So, yeah, it was really cool. And it was a fun... I will say, like Peter Parker realizing that the mirror world is just geometry was like, that came out of nowhere. He's like, whoa, is that a spiral? Is that a triangle? Oh, this is just basic geometry. Well, and then like fucking shot all the webs and like tied up Doctor Strange.
I think in the Marvel comics, he is like literally the smartest person.
Peter Parker is?
Yeah. In
the world?
Oh, yeah.
I guess it's the comics though.
But like that's what I'm like, I'm not entirely sure, but like I am like, I think I remember I think it was like in like one of like those like Marvel fact books or something. But I think it said that Peter Parker is like has like the highest IQ of anybody.
But anyways, he ties up Doctor Strange and he's like, okay, dude, see you at the climax, and he just kind of disappears.
Yeah. Which, I mean, is fine. I mean, it's not a Doctor Strange movie, so we don't really need him for the whole thing.
Yeah. But then that's when pretty much the movie, I think, does the turning point, is when they reach into Happy's apartment.
Yeah.
And, you know, like the montage of them, like, figuring everything out and building the cures and, like, I think they stay, like, some villains' motives change here and there. But I think, like, for Doc Ock, it always was the chip that was evil.
Yeah.
So when they replaced the chip,
he basically just went back to normal.
He went back to normal. And I believe that he, you know, he never wanted to be a villain. It was the chip that was
just drove him insane.
Yeah. So that moment when he becomes good, and I guess that's like also like the moment where the Green Goblin like snaps into Willem. It's like that scene where like they're in like the lab, and then all of a sudden like Peter starts like you just hear like the high pitched whistle.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't tell, but something's not good.
Yeah.
And what that is like Green Goblin pretty much like awakening.
Yeah,
like
that was pretty intense.
that was the moment for me where I'm like, this is when the movie got really good.
Yeah.
Because after that, you have pretty much like Doc Ock at that moment, he's good.
Yeah.
He's cured. And he pretty much runs away. And also I found it weird that the lizard just stayed in the van or like the truck. I didn't really get that.
Yeah, I forgot what they said.
Well, yeah, they just said he didn't want to like come up or something. I just don't. It was very lazy. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. We only watched it the one time, but I thought it was just so weird that he stayed down there. I'm like, he's a scientist. I think he'd also like be interested in this, you know. But anyways, so like everything starts, you know, happening. Sandman also is not really a villain, but he's like, nah, dude, like I don't want to do this. Yeah. So he like, you know, him, Electro, and Green Goblin are pretty much the three villains. Yeah. And then the lizard like breaks out and runs away, and he's like, I'll see you in the climax. But then you have a fight with pretty much the Green Goblin and Spider-Man, and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty raw and rough and breaking through levels of the apartment and just breaking down walls. And
yeah, it really did show that, you know, because like we were talking about this after we left the movie, and you were thinking it was strange that like he was just taking these slabs of drywall to the face. And it's just like, well,
like Green Goblin.
Yeah, Green Goblin does actually have super strength from the serum that he took. It's just in the Raimi movies, we just never really saw it. So
yeah, we never saw it. So like it took me out, but like for a little bit, but I still was into it. But then like when you have that reasoning, I'm like, okay, no, that makes sense. Like he has super strength. He's fine.
He also looked pretty fucking sick in his like suit.
Like his new one?
Yeah,
I liked it. Like of course I love that mask. So it's a shame that we only get one shot of the mask and then he breaks it. But I like his like he still has the armor, but then he has like the purple hoodie that's like ripped up and stuff. Yeah. So it still looked cool. But then you finally get it, dude. Like, dude, Aunt May died.
Well, I mean, I don't think that's anything to celebrate. But...
No, dude, it is. I needed that.
Okay. Obviously, he hates Marissa Tomei.
No, okay, I don't. I just. Marvel movies just, I don't know, they just don't have the impact like that.
It did seem like it was taking a very big risk.
And at first, like when the explosion happened and she stood up, I was like, man, fuck
dude,
you, Marvel.
She got knocked so hard by that. Well, I thought she was going to get stabbed by the glider. But she just kind of got knocked off to the side.
Yeah, and then she lived, and I was so pissed off.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, you're not going to fucking kill her.
I think she got nicked by the glider or something, because like she did, it did kind of seem like she had the wound on the side that she got hit.
Yeah, it was like on her left lower back, I think. I
think that's kind of like where she got hit with the glider, so I guess it kind of...
And then also a fucking bomb blew up like right in her area.
Yeah, that was fucking insane.
But they did. And like I could tell about... When she got up, I could tell maybe about 30 to 40 seconds later that she was dying because I could like see her arm was like shaking and she definitely was like trying to stand up and like be there. And then they did it. And then she falls and she gives the speech. And I think it was really earned. And then she died. And I was very sad, but I was happy just for like great character development and it felt earned.
Yeah.
And I was just happy that like Marvel did it. Because, like, that was, like... And then that's the moment where, like... Yes, you know, Peter Parker lost, like, Tony Stark, which is very sad. But, like, he sacrificed his life for, like, the whole universe. So that, like... You know...
Yeah.
That's, like... That's understandable. But, like, this is pretty much his mom that he's known since he was, like, a baby, pretty much. So, for him to lose her is pretty hard. So...
It was tough.
And then that's the turning point. You know, he... after that that's when he runs away, right, to go hide, and then that's when we cut to Ned and MJ at Ned's home, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so here it is. Everybody knew it was gonna happen.
Ned's mom finally came into the picture.
Yes, Ned's mom showed up and she put on the mask, but it was kind of clever in a way. So like Ned, and what I mentioned in the review is Ned with the little finger thing that Doctor Strange has, the summon portals, how Ned pretty much just can do it as well. I don't know if it's like in the comics that character, that Ned's character. Is Ned from the comics?
I don't know.
Anyways, I don't know if like that character, if Ned exists in the comics, if somehow he ends up, one of, Doctor Strange's like colleagues or something. But I just kind of call bullshit that he picked up on it within like seconds.
Well, he did have tingling in his fingers.
You never have tingling in your fingers?
I think you should check with your physician.
Yeah, if you do.
I don't know, whatever Doctor Strange said in the movie.
And so, MJ wants to press the button, send everybody back. And he's like, no, we can't. Like, let's just find Peter.
Yeah.
Let's find Peter Parker.
He's like, I wish I could see Peter Parker.
Yeah, and then which Peter Parker do we see? Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker.
What do you mean? There's only one Peter Parker.
Whatever.
Peter
Parker.
Peter Parker.
The computer. So yeah, Andrew Garfield shows up and everybody's like gasping, and then he walks in and everybody's like cheering, and we're like, yes, he's here, like this is cool. And they have a little banter, and he's like showing off that he is Spider-Man, and
he's just hanging from the ceiling, and like MJ's like, that's not enough, and he's like, no, this is plenty.
And then Ned's mom's like, go get that the cobweb over in the corner. And so it's cute, and they're like, okay, like let's try this again, and like let's find Peter Parker. And then we get Dad Bod, the OG, rocking just the shirt. It's great. He's just
casual attire.
He's just walking, and it's fucking Toby, man. He looks adorable.
Oh, dude, he looks so good.
Our boy Toby shows up, and
he looks so happy.
He looked like a lost puppy. He's just like, he's like, hey guys.
He looked. That's what I loved about Toby's performance, because honestly, he still looked like Peter Parker. He still
has like that child look in his eyes. I think,
and like that same like charisma that like the nerdy Peter Parker had too.
Yeah, but like he was still very held back. He was very like humble and stuff. And so it just felt.
Oh, dude, yeah.
It felt like he almost never left the character, and you could tell, and you could also feel like he's been the character.
Yeah.
So, and it was great, and they have a little bantering between the two Peters, and like you said, like
they had the exchange of the webs.
Oh, the webs, yes.
I wanted to bring that up because someone behind me was like, oh, he's the better one. It's like, fuck yeah, he is. Tobey Maguire is the best fucking Spider-Man.
That is it.
But yeah, that was pretty cool. I like how and they're just like,
and then he got him. He got Garfield.
Yeah.
So, no, but you said I like that it wasn't a big showy moment. I like how it was just this quiet scene, and they both just walk in, and they're all talking, and then, we're like, oh my God, this is actually happening. Like, they let us soak in the scene, and then it's like, oh, we know where Tom is. Let's go.
Yeah.
Or like they're Peter Parker. And then probably like the coolest shot in the movie.
Holy shit, yeah, that gave me goosebumps.
I did that like as a picture, because like
that was just so awesome.
On top of their high school, you just get both Peters with the silhouette of the moon. Oh, that is sexy shit right there.
Oh man,
like only if we could have had all three there, but like it still looked great.
Yeah.
You could just hear like, yeah, there's two Spider-Men right now.
Oh yeah,
and that's awesome.
Dude, it was at that point I was still just trying to take in so much, and I was just like, this is too much. This is too much to take in. Fantastic movie.
Yeah. And so then they get there and they realize, Tom Holland's just like, I guess we got to use their names now because all three Peters are in the same room. So Tom Holland's like, depressed, and, he just lost his aunt, and they're all there to kind of like comfort him. And then both Toby and Andrew bring up their person that they lost.
Yeah.
And the rage and the anger and frustration and the hate that they had, and realize that they don't need that. And it was a very good moment because it reminded me, and I guess people could argue that like this is kind of like Into the Spider-Verse in a way where like, but like if you're going to do a multiverse thing, you should always have another Spider-Man mentoring a younger one. So it makes sense for those two to give their advice and to like put faith and trust into Tom. Like he's like, hey man, we've been here before.
Yeah, especially like Tobey Maguire, like talking about like how like he went after the same guy he thought had killed his Uncle Ben, and he's like, listen dude, like I got what I wanted, but it was not worth it. And so like, yeah, obviously it plays into the movie later too, but it was still just really important to see that Toby would say something like that to Tom Holland Spider-Man, because he knew that Tom Holland was on this warpath to just kill anybody who hurt Aunt May.
Yeah.
So,
and then like for Andrew Garfield, he said like, I couldn't even save my girlfriend. He's like, you can't save everybody.
yeah.
Which is also like a good lesson for like Tom's Peter to learn as well. So, and also another shout out to just Marvel writing to not ruin that scene with a joke. I'd have been so mad if they ruined that scene with a joke.
Yeah.
But then the next scene, they're in like the little like science lab in the school, and then that's when the jokes come on, and that's like, it's a little more lighthearted, and it's like, okay, you got like 3 scenes of like, you know, more somber, you know, sad stuff. Like, we can cheer this up. Let's have some funny banter. And I think my favorite joke out of all of it was Ned realizing that like both of the other Peter's friends like turned evil and like died.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait, is that gonna happen to me? And then like just his mannerisms when he's walking up to Tom.
Oh yeah, he's just like, oh Ned, can you do like a check? And he's like, oh yeah, sure. And he like goes and hits a button on the computer and then just walks away immediately.
Yeah, he's just
like, I'm not gonna be near you.
It's so funny. That was definitely a really good joke. And they just have good banter together, and it's a very fun scene, and you're just kind of like still like, man, this is happening right now. Like, it's pretty cool. And then they get thrown into the Empire State Building set piece, and the CGI is definitely not the best in this movie.
Was it the Empire State?
Sorry, Statue of Liberty.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, sorry, Statue of Liberty. But the CGI is not the best in this movie. And I heard there was rumors that like they were still working on the CGI like 2-3 weeks ago.
Damn.
So like,
I mean, I will say that like some of the fight scenes in this movie didn't really feel as good.
I mean, there's really you could argue 4 if you have the Doctor Strange one. If not, there's really only 3. Right?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, there's 4, I guess. So there's 5 with Doctor Strange. If not, it's the opening scene with Doc Ock, like that fight. Then it's the fight in the field, and then it's the apartment fight, and then it's the climax. Those are the 4, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking just more specifically about. So, for example, because it seemed like it was choreographed between Tom Holland Spider-Man and the Green Goblin on the shield of Statue of Liberty.
Yep.
Like, that just seemed pretty realistic, because I think it might have been choreographed, but like most of the other fights just did.
I get what you mean.
Yes.
You mean like it's pretty much all CGI.
Yeah.
And then, but that scene was, they probably were on the little set.
Yeah.
Like a little part of the shield.
Because that's why.
That definitely
looked really good.
Yeah, that was, and that's what it is. It's just, it's pretty easy when your character's in a mask. You can just, because like Tom is honestly barely in the suit. I feel like, because like even like a shot where when they're running away in the beginning and he comes out of the sewer, and then they like swing up. It was probably CGI like when he turned his back and like swung around the side of the building. You know, like it's it's a lot easier just to do CGI like that. So, or you get the shots of the first Spider-Man where it's literally just a stiff. It's a mannequin pretty much. But yeah, so like the fight happens and pretty much they have a game plan, and I like that they address that like they didn't work out together, because you could kind of tell within the first 30 seconds that they were like tripping over each other, and they were like, whoa,
webs in each other's face,
like we need to like figure this out.
And then that's when they had to come together, the group huddle. Also,
there's some fun banter just between them even before. Oh, that's my back.
And oh my God, yes. Oh, here it goes. Oh,
my back.
He's like, my back.
There's a cute moment where Garfield's like, oh man, come here, I'll crack your back for you. Like it's.
Or the powwow between Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield when he's like, hey, you're amazing. Yeah, it's like, okay, we get it. He's the amazing.
He's Spider-Man. The amazing Spider-Man.
Did you also notice, like, at some point, I can't remember who said it, but I think it might have been MJ was like, what is your spider your tingly sense coming on or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And Tom's like, yeah, I feel it. And Toby was also like, yeah, I feel it too. And Andrew just didn't say anything.
Yeah.
I think that's because
They never address it, right?
yeah, they don't, because I don't think they had the rights to say spider or to use the spider sense.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I'm pretty sure it's like trademarked or whatever.
It's stupid corporate shit.
Fuck corporate.
So, but yeah, the fight happens, and like one by one, all the villains are just getting cured.
Yeah.
And then Doc Ock shows back up, saves the day because he's a hero, and everybody's like, "Fuck yeah!" Like,
I was kind of surprised that he like did show up. I thought he was gonna like
kind of be done, you know.
Well, I mean, I guess
you probably like had, you probably thought like he had like one more scene, but like not like that, like an entrance like that.
Yeah, I was also kind of thinking that he was gonna like fuck some shit up too, you know, just like attack everyone. I didn't think he was gonna like be like, oh no, these are like good guys, and like, you know, you just need to stop.
Yeah, it's like he's like, we can help you.
Yeah,
and everybody is besides fucking Williams. Like, no, let me be the Green Goblin.
Yeah, he just wants to be the Green Goblin.
He wants to be the Green Goblin, and he's fucking great. And there is a great fight, and you know, Tom just wants to kill him, and I believed him. He's just like, because you know, Green Goblin killed his fucking aunt like an hour ago.
He picked up the glider with he was about to stab Willem in the chest.
Yeah, it was like, good. Like,
you were going to do it whether you were in this world or the next. So,
and then Toby comes over and he's like, no, don't do this.
Dude.
But the Green Goblin is just fucking evil and stabs Toby.
Holy shit, yeah, he did. I was just like,
dude. If Toby died in this movie,
yeah,
my Letterboxd review would have been like, Toby went out like Han Solo. Like, he's like, I'll come back for one movie, then kill my character. But he's not. Toby lives. There's a funny joke where Andrew's like,
you're in so much pain right now.
Yep. He's like, I've been stabbed before. Like, I'm okay. But it definitely was like a surprise. Like, and I think this movie also just really shows how evil the Green Goblin is.
Oh yeah.
And he's just a fucking maniac.
Yeah.
So, like, that was awesome. But then they don't kill him. They give him the serum, and he's back to normal. And, you know, he's just this kooky old man that we love.
Honestly,
so,
kooky old man.
And then I guess and also I guess like the little climax, like plot B, is Doctor Strange is trying to control the spell because it's ripping even more, and you see like a shadow of the Scorpion. I think you see a shadow of like the Rhino.
I saw the Rhino.
Yeah. And they're all coming in.
Yeah, it was hard to like determine, like to figure out.
Oh yeah, in like a few days we're gonna find out all the Easter eggs and stuff. But yeah, in the moment you definitely like saw like the horn of the Rhino go like that.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure I saw like a scorpion like tail like point out. But and I guess so. They fix that. They fix it. Mm. But is that supposed to be the moment where in Loki, like when everything's supposed to like fucking break? Is that what's happening there or not? Has that not happened in, I guess, the movies yet?
I don't know.
Because I thought that's what it was, but then this really only seems like what Doctor Strange was dealing with was the Peter Parker stuff, not the entire multiverse that I guess Loki really introduces. So I don't know. I guess Loki takes place a little further in the future then. Maybe it's gonna happen in Doctor Strange too.
That's what I'm thinking. I think maybe this might have been like the opening of the multiverse.
Yeah.
And so then now within the next Doctor Strange movie, it's going to be Doctor Strange working to fix it in some way.
And then possibly that's like, I guess, when like the Loki thing happens and like Kang shows up or something. I don't know. Or teases him at least.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
honestly, I was like, with how crazy this movie was, I was half expecting Kang to show up.
Honestly, like, also because like it didn't help that like the whole like thing was like purple, so I was just thinking of like his purple face and stuff. I'm just like, oh, he could show up, like, or like fucking out of nowhere, just Galactus shows up. I don't know, like it was getting pretty fucking crazy, but they were still going. And then, you know, you find out that there is a way to fix all of this.
Yeah,
and like it was pretty impactful.
Yeah,
like
it was
him saying goodbye to like MJ and to Ned, and he's like, I will find you guys. I like, trust me, I will. But they don't.
They don't remember him.
Well, obviously they don't remember him, and he decides to not try to have them remember. And
I think
it's just sad. Yeah, honestly.
No, I think he was going to, but then he saw MJ's little Band-Aid above her eye, because he just choked the first time, but then he gathered up the courage to say it the second time, like before he left. But he saw her Band-Aid and he was just like, that's right, I can't let her get hurt because I'm with her. Because it's just like the other Spider-Man said, like, you know, Andrew Garfield said that he couldn't save his girlfriend, so Tom doesn't want to put her in danger, so he thinks probably the best thing to do is just to leave them both alone, which is fucking terrifying. Or heartbreaking. And
then, you know, he gets an apartment. It's pretty shitty.
Dude, when I heard the landlord say rent is due on the 1st, I was like, rent?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. And he stitches his own suit together, which looks fucking nice.
Oh, dude. Hell
it's vibrant as fuck. I love it.
Oh, he definitely took some inspiration from the other two.
He realizes, like, I can just be Spider-Man. Yeah. And he pretty much swings off into the night, and the movie ends. And then we get a really disappointing post-credit scene. But before we get into that, I mean, you brought up a really good theory that, like, this could be the send-off to Spider-Man.
Yes, because when Doctor Strange was doing his little spell the final time to, like, make everybody forget about Peter Parker, he said, the one line he said that, like, really kind of made it clear was just, like, it'll be like we never knew you or met you or had known you. It's like you never existed, basically.
But you do exist. But
in, like, legal talk, that basically just means we lost our rights to you. You're going back to Sony. You, Spider-Man, are no longer in the MCU, which fucking sucks.
So, I mean, now with Kevin saying that there's going to be a Spider-Man 4, but I'm curious because, like, see, I don't think, like, it's so, like, even I want them to remember who Peter Parker is. I think it's a little too sad that, like, he just saved the world, and I mean, yes, it was his fault, but he saved the world, but now he's completely forgotten, and he has nobody that loves or cares about him. And for me, it's honestly just also, I think it's a little too sad. Yeah. And I'm not your average fan, so I think your average fans are, like, very sad about this. So I don't think you can really keep this going. I think some way they're going to remember, they're going to figure out something, and maybe that'll tie into the Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot left to be seen, and, you know, I know the MCU has big plans for a lot of other things, but
this kind of gave me, like, a little hype a little bit for Marvel, I guess, like, at least Doctor Strange. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, no, I've always been excited for Doctor Strange.
Yeah, especially when Raimi came on board. I was like, oh, yeah. I guess we'll talk about that in a second. But any more thoughts on just the Spider-Man before we do the end credit stuff?
We missed one part where Andrew Garfield, on the fight at the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
They chased the lizard into the portal that Ned and MJ were standing in front of because they couldn't close it. And MJ ran through the portal onto the Statue of Liberty in the middle of the fight. Things happen. She gets knocked off. Tom Holland tries to go and save her like a good boyfriend, but he gets knocked away
by Goblin's
speeder.
Or glider. Which I joked about it a few weeks ago with Connor. I wish he was here to back me up, but I joked that I was like, watch, because you see the shot of MJ falling in the trailer.
Yeah.
And I was like, watch Garfield save her. And when Tom got hit by the glider, I was like, fuck, it's going to happen.
And then, it cuts to Andrew, and he just immediately starts sprinting.
And he saves her, and I was like,
a second.
I was like, okay. But then what saved it was the moment after.
Yeah, it was an extremely touching moment because, like, it just got to bring some closure. Well, I mean, not, I guess, closure, but it just, it really showed that Garfield still just hasn't forgiven himself for letting himself not catch Stacy. And so...
Oh, dude, I cried like a bitch when... I think I was crying more because Emma Stone died rather than Gwen Stacy, but I was still sad. So.
Well, dude, it was like a pretty violent death.
Oh, yeah. It was, like, I mean, as much as the corny web hand was, that snap, whew,
yeah.
That was rough.
Because, like, he caught her, like, just in time, but, like, she, like, bounced and, like, smacked her head on the concrete.
Yeah.
Oh. So, yeah, when he almost broke down, started crying, and she was just like, are you okay? And he was like, yeah.
It's like, oh, no. It's okay. Like, don't make me cry.
It's okay, Andy.
Oh, that's a very touching moment. Dude, I'm pretty excited to see this again.
Yeah, this movie definitely does require a second rewatch because there is just a lot to take in. So like now we can kind of focus more so like on like the jokes again, like figure out like what parts we actually really do like, and just to see some like really cool shit happen.
Yeah, it's always hard. Your first take, you're just kind of like,
it's
there's so much.
Because like now, like okay, this is when this part happens, and you can just actually kind of focus instead of just like trying to take it all.
Instead of me just staring at Toby and Andrew, I'm actually gonna like pay attention to like what they're saying and just how they're interacting with each other, stuff like that. So,
Andrew Garfield like did like an okay job, but dude, Tobey Maguire, like, he just. It's like he never left. It was just so goddamn good to see him Spider-Man again.
Yeah, I enjoyed them both. It was pretty good.
I really wish spoilers were better kept on this movie. I mean, like, I know it's hard with just how much there was, but...
I mean, to an extent, like, with the villains, there was no way they weren't going to be in the movie.
Yeah.
And you really can't market... You had to market the villains.
Yeah.
And so with the villains are going to come the heroes.
Yeah.
For me, I wish the confirmation of that Charlie Cox's Daredevil was in the MCU. I wish that didn't come out like a week before, because it was just them confirming like, oh yeah, Matt Murdock's like Charlie Cox's Daredevil is confirmed to be in the MCU, and I'm like, oh well, he's fucking gonna show up in Spider-Man now. I wish I didn't know that, because that would have been fucking awesome. But like I'm just, and like spoilers are spoilers. I just am glad I didn't see anything. You know?
Yeah.
I didn't want to see a shot of Andrew and
No.
Toby in their outfits, and I didn't. So, like, they're just different. There's the obvious spoilers that everybody knows they're in the movie, but then it's a spoiler if it's like it comes true once you see it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, when Tobey Maguire stepped through, I kind of like knocked on Andrew and was like, come on.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, we both were like, this movie's good. Like, this is fun. We're having a fun time.
Yeah.
So, but what's not a fun time is the post-credit scene, and it's. Oh, dude, fuck Venom 2, guys.
Dude, Venom 2.
I'm never watching that movie again.
Please, if you think it's a good movie, go watch it again and really pay attention to some of the stuff.
Because, dude, like, so Venom is Tom Hardy, you know, Eddie Brock is getting drunk on these little, probably like, I don't know, hurricanes. And he's like, whoa. So there's like a purple alien, and he collected these rocks, and he's like making fun. He's like, oh, there's a guy named the Hulk. And there's a guy in a metal suit that flies. And then he's like, well, we got to go speak to this Spider-Man. And I guess one thing is that, you know, when Doctor Strange cast a spell, everybody faded away. And he's like, let's go talk to this Spider-Man. And then you see him start fading away. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. He was here for no reason.
Such a waste of time.
But then, honestly, what's even stupider is the little symbiote left on the table. It didn't make any sense.
The only reason I would say it makes even the slightest bit of sense is because Venom said, we are drunk, so he probably just let a little bit of himself poop out on accident.
Okay. I guess I didn't think about that.
That's my only solution,
because
but
like,
otherwise, fuck that end credit scene.
He's not like dropping symbiote in his other world. So for him to just, I guess, like, if he's drunk, I guess that's a reason. But what Venom 2 is utterly pointless.
Yeah.
The end credit scene for Venom 2 is just to then have the symbiote enter the MCU. That is what Venom 2 really was about.
And honestly, I really wish they would have just done a Secret Wars at this point, because, I mean... That's how fucking Spider-Man gets his black suit. He doesn't just go down to Mexico. Oh, dude, I swear to God, if it fucking attaches to Flash Thompson,
So yeah, that was dumb. And then we got an interesting end credit scene, which I wonder if they will go this route from now on.
Yeah, it was
because it was literally
literally a trailer. Yeah,
a trailer with like I don't know. It was definitely, especially like the first few shots. I'm like, what is this?
It felt like, I guess I like knew immediately it wasn't an end credit scene, but
yeah, I could tell.
Of like a trailer, it still felt like a very weird trailer.
Because usually the end credit scenes, it feels just like a scene.
Yeah,
it feels like a deleted scene, pretty much. That was meant like it's just kind of like, this is just a scene that we're gonna slap here.
Yeah,
but this was like, it was like a shot and then it faded away and then like another shot, and I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah, it was weird.
And then like you see Doctor Strange going up to Scarlet, and he's like, hey, we need to talk about this multiverse thing. And then it's a trailer, like you see characters you've never seen before, and then you get this big reveal of the evil Doctor Strange, it looks like.
Yeah,
I heard somebody behind me mention, I hope it's not fucking true, because then that makes What If, I guess, important. But the episode of What If, where it's what if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands, and I guess I looked up a picture of that Doctor Strange in that What If episode, and it looks just like the live action one. And I'm like, fuck, do I have to watch What If now?
I feel like What If doesn't...
But it's technically canon because it is like the multiverse.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like What If like isn't bad anymore. Like past like the first episode. You know?
I don't know. Jacob said it's pretty bad. He said he kind of regretted watching it, so I don't know. We'll find out. But it was interesting. It took me by surprise, so I'm glad to watch it again. I'm excited to see it again when I go see the movie. But yeah, pretty much just was just like, hey, that's the next one coming out, right? In like March or April?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's the next movie coming out. That's cool.
Yeah, that is tight.
I'm just excited because like I hated Black Widow. I enjoyed Shang-Chi. I hated the Eternals.
Yeah.
I enjoy Spider-Man. So now I hope I enjoy Doctor Strange.
Yeah. I mean, it's Sam Raimi. It looks, I mean, Benedict Cumberbatch, Elizabeth Olsen.
Who else can show up? And like we're doing reshoots. The last I think like a month ago they announced that they were going to do it for like 2 or 3 weeks. So like I'm convinced that like they're adding stuff. Like they're adding cast members for like last minute shoots to quickly then put it in the editing room. So like to try to avoid spoilers as much as possible. So like I wonder if like, yeah, I just wonder what characters are going to show up in this movie. Because we're going to be in the multiverse.
Yeah.
So like anybody could really show up. A different version of that person could show up. So it'll be cool to see what happens.
Yeah.
But
I mean, this is definitely going to be very comic book-esque style Marvel.
And like I know like I kind of bitched overall that like I felt like this movie was rushed with the multiverse. And I do believe if Into the Spider-Verse did not exist, we would not be getting this movie. I think the success of Into the Spider-Verse like was able for this movie to be made. But like I was bitching that like this movie felt very rushed, and like David brought up points that like not really, like the multiverse has been teased throughout a little bit throughout the last like I guess like maybe like 5-6 movies. And then after seeing this, it felt I kind of believed it. I didn't feel like it did feel rushed. Like I kind of felt like this does kind of make sense. And so I'm into it. I guess I'm ready for like the next, at least Doctor Strange. We'll see. I don't even remember which one comes out after that. But yeah.
Yeah.
Marvel shows kind of suck, but at least this movie's good. So
hey, did something right.
I will say, we'll wrap this up, but I watched the 3rd episode of Hawkeye last night, and it is not like amazing, but it's so much better than the first 2 episodes. And I'm pretty sure the first 2 episodes were directed by somebody else. Pretty sure that guy got fired, and then they hired a new director that finished the last 4 episodes. So like,
So you're saying I have to waste 2 hours of my time?
you gotta waste like 50 minutes. They're only like 40 minutes long. So like I guess like an hour and like 20 minutes. The first episode is pretty laughable bad though. But I will just say, let me finish the show. Okay, let me finish the show. The 3rd episode was actually like I enjoyed it. There was a really good action scene.
All right, I'll start What If, and I'll let you know if it's bad or not.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, anything else about these spoilers?
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch What If.
Yeah, you just lied to me. Oh, dude, it was great. You watch it. I waste my whole time watching. I'm like, man, why did you enjoy this? Joke's on you. I didn't watch it, bitch. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm excited.
Yeah,
we had a packed theater.
Oh yeah,
it was crazy to see the entire parking lot full.
Dude, yeah.
Even like the side parking lot. Like, that shit didn't happen before COVID. Like, it felt crazy.
Yeah.
Like, the concession line was like packed, like going like onto this third row. Dude, I was like, suckers, I snuck in my candy.
Dude, yeah, I can't go to the concessions anymore.
Yeah, but it just feels good. And like, obviously, like, it's gonna die down a little bit just because January sucks. But like, if this is the movie to push people to get back into theaters, get more comfortable, I hope it is, and I hope that theaters and movies in general.
Oh my god! Now that we're talking about theater. That person that kept fucking coughing. Let's talk about our theater.
Oh my god, dude! Literally the fucking end of the movie.
Parts of the movie. This person has a fucking coughing fit.
It's pretty much when Tom enters the coffee shop and then goes to like Aunt May's grave and then like ends up at his apartment. She stopped around there, but literally she was
every like 2 minutes, like,
dude. It was probably like. Honestly, like almost every 30 seconds, like
loud and just like a single cough, like, bro.
Yeah, at one point I was drinking something. I was like, come on, let's go. Like,
you were looking around like, come on.
I wasn't screaming it, but I was like, come on. Like, yeah, I probably have a drink, so fucking drink that, please. But
and then, so that was the end of the movie. Beginning of the movie, dude. As soon as we got to the top,
oh my god, I forgot about that.
How did you forget? Well, you weren't even next to him. Your seat wasn't taken. My seat was fucking, dude. It was a hell
this is like night. Remember Knives Out? You had that issue of Knives Out back in 2019.
Yeah, what did I do? No, they were in the wrong row.
Yeah, they were in the wrong row.
Oh my god, idiots!
These people technically were in the wrong row.
It was a family of like 3. It was like the dad, the daughter, and then the mom was sitting in my seat.
My seat was empty, and then there was an empty seat next to the dad.
Yes. So I'm like, okay. I don't really care. Like, I know for a fact that, like, this is the row N, and, like, that seat says 8. That was me. And, like, it's on my phone. I'll show you right here. And I'm like, that's my seat. And the woman just it's like, she was, like, Indian, I think. So she kind of had a hard time, like...
She pretty much explained that she's like, yeah, well, we were supposed to be... row L.
All I heard was someone took my seat. I'm like, that's not my problem. Well, I mean, this was mentally. I was nice, but like mentally, I was just like, that's not my problem, bro. Like, this is my seat. Like,
and then I think you just said you're just like, well, can you guys just scoot down one?
And
because I'm like, you're not gonna make me and my friends split up when there's clearly an empty seat right next to the dad.
No. First of all, it was my seat. It said so on my ticket. That's the end of it. But we asked them nicely, like, hey, do you guys mind just shuffling down one seat? They did. Thankfully, no other problems rose. So,
yeah.
Rough start. Not too bad, though.
Then an annoying cougher. But yeah, overall, fun experience. Fans clapped when they needed to, stuff like that.
Sometimes there was just a... No, nobody's clapping, bro. No one's clapping.
I'm trying to think. There was definitely 2 moments where there was 2 moments with one clapper and, like, nobody else joined. But I don't really remember what they were, so...
there was a few moments like where people started trying to clap and like people were like, okay, yeah, I guess we can clap.
It's like I guess we can clap for seeing Doc Ock a second time. Like, yeah. But yeah, it was a good time. Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely gonna need another rewatch just to kind of really soak everything in.
I'm just glad I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So if you knew me, aka Jacob and David, you know how much I was bitching about this, and so I'm glad I enjoyed it. I wanted to enjoy it, so I'm glad.
The only thing he enjoyed more than this was the Uncharted trailer.
You'll get that conversation in February. I'm not ready for that fucking movie, dude. Oh my god.
I wanted to say this. It looks like your very generic heist movie or like treasure hunting movie. But you literally just took the same sequences and the same characters from the Uncharted series and just slapped it on there. Because everything else is just so bare bones.
Oh,
we have to find your lost brother. He might be in this pile of gold. Plain scene. And then it's just like stupid shit like that. Like
it honestly looks boring.
Like, yes. I'm like, if I see another trailer, I'll be like, okay, this is really gonna like determine whether or not, because
Oh, I'm seeing it.
Oh my god, I really
Because I just want to go in there ready to fucking hate watch the shit out of that
You're just gonna sit down like, boo.
It was cool seeing the PlayStation logo like on the big screen like that.
That
like,
was cool.
PlayStation Studios.
It was like, fuck yeah.
Oh, Sony bitch.
But everything else just sucked about that trailer.
Yeah. Mark Wahlberg doesn't have a mustache. Anyways, that's not Spider-Man. I don't think we got anything else.
Spider-Man good.
Spider-Man good. Uncharted bad.
Bad.
Another trailer. I don't remember any of the trailers. Anyways, well, this has been Andrew.
This has been Matthew.
Peace.
We love you.